Kicks Country 92.9, number one for New Country. Except my mind as I try to unravel some phone issues we've been having. Finally being able to reach out and get a hold of Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured, just in time to squeeze in our Ask the Lawyer segment of the week. Good morning, I'm Todd Matthews. It's 9:40, and I would appreciate if you please help me welcome Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured. Good morning, Bruce.
Hey, good morning, Todd. How you doing this morning?
Technical challenges, but otherwise fine, and you can't argue with the warm weather.
Oh, it's beautiful weather.
Yeah, absolutely. How's everybody doing in the Scheiner household?
Everybody's doing very well. Thanks for asking, Todd.
Oh, good. Glad to hear that. Well, not everybody's doing well. There's somebody who sent us an email here who's having some problem. Actually, his nephew's having problems. Are you ready to dive into it?
I am ready.
Great. Let's see what you think of this one. The email says, my nephew, who has lived with me for the last 2 years, was driving his Harley down 41 when someone on their cell phone pulled out from a side street without looking into my nephew's path. He struck the car and was taken to the hospital. He's had to have emergency hip surgery. Unfortunately, the negligent car driver didn't have insurance. To make matters worse, my nephew was also uninsured, despite my many requests that he obtain insurance. Always listen to the wise older uncle, I say. I had recently purchased insurance with stacking on all my vehicles and urged him to do the same. I think my nephew is out of luck, but can you ask the lawyer for me? Well, happy to. The medical bills are enormous, he finishes with. Bruce, I'm sure this is not the first time you've run into this. What do you think?
Well, thank God for stacking uninsured motorist coverage.
Yeah.
Even though the young man did not have any insurance for the motorcycle, because he lived with a resident relative, he's entitled to the insurance coverage that they have in their household.
I see.
And here they say that you purchase stacking uninsured motorist coverage on all of his vehicles. So hopefully he has several vehicles with high limits of coverage.
Yeah, that would really help out.
The young man is entitled to that coverage. And, you know, we talk about it very often, but I can't emphasize how important it is to have uninsured motorist coverage. If you're a motorcycle enthusiast and you borrow your buddy's bike and he doesn't have insurance and you get in a wreck, if you have stacking uninsured motorist coverage, it'll cover you.
You know, stacking is the most important form of it, of course, because it allows you to multiply by how many vehicles you have. And you always say get as much as you can afford, correct?
That is correct. Because, you know, a stay in the emergency room today for several hours could cost as much as $30,000.
Absolutely.
So if you don't have high limits of coverage, you're going to be in trouble.
Now, in this case, we have an older, wiser uncle advising his nephew to get as much coverage as possible. But in essence, the nephew was covered by the uncle's policy, correct?
That is correct, Todd. And he was very fortunate that he lived with a wise uncle who purchased, you know, stacking uninsured motorist coverage.
Absolutely. And that's really going to make the difference here. The medical bills are enormous. I can only imagine with hip surgery what they must be amounting to. And there's a lot of pain involved with hip surgery as well, but he'll be entitled to like pain and suffering and so forth, right?
Right. He'll be entitled to get his medical bills paid from the past, his medical bills paid in the future, loss of wages in the past, his loss of earning capacity, and pain and suffering from all that he's gone through and all he's going to have to go through.
Yeah. Well, it's going to take a lot to make him whole, but seeing a legal professional quickly could make all the difference in the world.
It sure can, because you got to put those insurance companies on notice, and you have to understand how uninsured motorist coverage works.
Absolutely. Well, Bruce, this is one of those where there truly is light at the end of the tunnel, it seems. So thank you very much for weighing in this week.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Todd. I love to talk with you and help your listeners.
And looking forward to talking to you next week. We'll have another interesting case, I am sure.
Thank you, Todd, and hope you get your technical difficulties straightened out.
We are working on it. Nothing a swift kick won't fix, I'm sure. Thanks again, Bruce.
Okay.
Have a good week.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up again for Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured. Now, if you'd like to ask a question, all you have to do is go to our website, and then in the search box, put the keyword Bruce. That'll take you to where you need to go. On the other hand, if you're in a situation like this, I wouldn't wait to hear if you hear it on the radio. Call the Port Charlotte Office of Associates and Bruce L. Scheiner directly instead. 941-743-7777. 743-7777. And tell them that Todd Matthews sent you from Kicks Country 92.9.